money and success are not, they don't go hand in hand. They're both exclusive, because there are a lot of people around this world that have a boatload of money or make a boatload of money, and they are miserable. Now, granted, there are some people that make great money and they're super happy. Yep. And that's a great place to be. But we've kind of been sold that you just got to drive. But then
the stuff.
You got to have the stuff to go with it. And that is a vicious circle, because the stuff always is one notch higher than the money that you're making, because each step you see something that's just over the hill. They're like, ooh, I'd like to have that.
I'd like to trade this in that I got last year for this new thing. And it's like a vicious circle.
When I was selling, I mean, pretty much I couldn't make a budget to save my tail, because I'm too much of an optimist. So when I would see something that I liked, I would very quickly take the purchase price of that and divide it by the commission of what a 2,400 head hog building would be to sell. And I would look at it and go, oh, well, it's only like 5 2,400s. If I could just sell 5 2,400s for decent margin, I could buy that. And that's that's how I did it. Now, I can tell you that's not probably the right way to run your books, but
right.
But Optimus Torque was like, oh yeah, we can do that, no problem.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just want to, I really want to nail the point of, people are different, and what society tells you isn't necessarily what success could mean to you. It's all up to you, and it takes, like you've mentioned your stories, it's like it takes time to realize what's important to you and what success looks like to you. Because I'm sure 7 years ago for Torque was success was different than what it is now for you, if you think about it.
Let's do the math on that about right. Yeah. So 7 years ago, I was about at the pinnacle of, as far as the money making side. I was making more money than I'd ever made in my life right about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. And I wasn't very happy. I mean, I was, but I just felt like I was on this treadmill where it didn't matter how much I made, how much I sold. It was never going to be enough. And then the worst part about it was, every year, you just kept setting yourself up higher and higher. How am I going to outdo what I did last year? And then the other side of it is, at some point, you start doing things for the wrong reason. You start trying to rush the process. You start trying to cut corners, as far as maybe you're trying to cover yourself so thin to get further that you're just doing stuff faster than you should, or you're not taking things as seriously as you should, or you're trying to rush things. And anyway, I could have kept doing what I was doing. I could have probably still been there, although I think at some point they would have probably gotten tired of me and told me that I needed to leave. But I could have stayed there a long time, and I loved what I did, but I just finally got to the point where I knew I had to change. I knew that if I kept doing what I was doing then, that I was going to turn into somebody that I didn't want to be. In fact, I already felt like I kind of was. And so I decided to make a change. And it was scary, because it was a hell of a pay cut. But at the same time, it was very freeing, because I didn't feel like I had that weight on my shoulders, and it really made my family prioritize what was important, which that needed to happen, and it gave me more time, not necessarily like I didn't work as much as I did before, but I was much more present than what I was before. Because so much, when you put yourself in that position, my mind was running on selling every waking hour. I mean, heck, I dreamed about selling. And, you know, you're always thinking about the next one and where I got to go and who I need to talk to. And you're just, it's just a loop and it's running all the time in your head. And that was when I got out of that, it's like, wow, I slept better. I wasn't tired all the time. I mean, I'm still get tired.
Sawyer you still have your naps.
Sawyer works me like a mule. But anyway, so it's been good.